I need it.
Yeah.
Your mom said, man. And he was like, so now you can't say nothing. He was like, nah.
Listen, look,
I can't trash talk you in front of your mama.
Tell me up like this, boy. You coming that thing, go, whoop. That thing switched it. Look, it go to the other direction if you're smart, boy. That's real. And shout out to I think it was High Priestess 1. The book that I was talking about is called Jambalaya, and it's by Chief Louisa Tish. And I'm gonna put her name in here, and I hope I spelled this right. I don't want no smoke. Chief Louisa Tish. But yeah, it's called Jambalaya by Chief Louisa Tish. I believe it's on. You can definitely find it on Amazon for sure. But yeah, that was where I first got my first exposure to Ifa and Orisha from an actual priestess. She's a priestess of Oshun, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, that's where I got tapped in, and from there, I think it was Baba Karaday's The Handbook of Ifa. Shout out to Baba Karaday, and then from there, the rest just kind of opened up the floodgates, man. About the ice wall. The ice wall is not an ice wall; it's an ice shelf. And then I think you was dropping something, and I don't know what something came to my mind.
Man, we had got all off into Louisa Taish and Bayana Bello and
the mothers. And nobody watching.
I didn't want to hear. Look, after I got out of the joint, man, I didn't want to hear nothing no man had to say. I didn't want to listen to no song sung by no man. I ain't want to listen to no lectures by no man. So I'm telling you, when I first came home and I started finding lectures, I was looking for people like Chief Warhorse, Brain Bello, Louisa Taish. Them what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for no Farrakhan, no Khalid Muhammad. I was tired of men, period. 16 years in the penitentiary, I don't even want to see no hard legs at all. I don't want to talk to no men. I don't want to have no conversation with them. I don't want to go hang out. I don't want to play no basketball with them. I was just in that frame of mind. I was so sick of dudes because they was acting more like broads than broads.
That's still happening too, by the way, unfortunately.
And the worst part is that it's by design. It's not by accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The sad part is people think they choosing their life and somebody else gave their life to them. That's sad.
That's deep. That's deep though, because now listen. So when you say that, because now that, and I just had another, like I said, this was part of the meeting I was in Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. But we were talking about the Ori and how in Orun, which we call heaven or the land of the, it's called Orun. It's the land of the ancestors in Yoruba tradition, or Ifa, Isheshe, right? We come to the deities and we come to the creator, and before we come back to this planet or come back into a body, come to a point where we choose our Ori. We choose our destiny in which the life that we're going to have when we come to this planet, right? So from my perspective of what I've been taught, from studying in the tradition and all that, it's like we chose what we came here to do in the Orun and the ancestral realm before we came back. But because there's a lot of powerful entities at play and a lot of manipulation abilities and technologies and all that, you're telling me that a lot of people, unfortunately, didn't choose the life that they were given this life. Now, how does that play into? Like, can you kind of break that down a little deeper in regards to that?
So what happens is this is the only way somebody can hijack your destiny. They convince you that the trauma they inflicted on you reflect the person that you are, and then they lock you into the trauma until you actually start believing the hype of the false image that they gave you. Like, nope, you don't even know how nature work, and they got you thinking that your gender is wrong. Right? That's an irrational concept on Earth. Everything is gender except humans. That don't even make sense. We're supposed to be the most evolved of all of the species. So if we're the most evolved, we should be the most likely to know at birth what our gender is. If you watch a baby, if you change a baby boy pamper, he gonna play with his Peter.
Yeah.
Right? If you change a baby girl diaper, she gonna try to touch herself down there. They trying to check and see what equipment they got.
Yeah.
So they know who to be. But when you start taping their equipment down and putting them in tutus, telling them they little girls when they boys, you are altering their natural perception of the self.
Yeah.
And when they believe it, they act out on that program.
Mm-hmm. That's facts. And there's it's funny because I got some notes here, some research that I got. Excuse me, I got on my task list. But there's a lot of stuff that they do that, of course, like you said, and we know that this is war. We know the strategy. We know all that. And there's studies that they have. I want to say is it like Cambridge Analytica, where they're known for doing the study of media manipulation. You know what I'm saying? In order to use psychology, excuse me, the way they do. Kind of like when you go to the grocery store, you notice how they got all the snacks and the candy and the tabloids and all that right there at the checkout line. Like they wait until you already and went through to give you those, you know what I'm saying, those subliminal seductions to, like, you know what I mean, pull you in order to grab something else. So I feel like there's much study and research and all that they did in order to come up with these concepts. They've done a whole lot more when it comes to doing what they're doing with society and excuse me, controlling the population, right?
Yeah.
Who are the ones that are doing this and why?
So if you can effeminize the masculine, what you gonna do with the women? Who gonna have the women if all the men are sissies?
Mm.
Where the women going? What they gonna do?
Mm.
They gonna follow suit. They gonna get them another woman, or they gonna get the man that wanted all the other men to be sweet, so he can be the only masculine man in town.
Mm. 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 Now, okay, I get that. So when we talk about this whole quote unquote domination, or I should say patriarchal dominated society or infrastructure of society, how does that, like, where does that go with that? Is that why there's such a, script with the homosexuality thing, you know what I'm saying, and all the other things that come from that culture?
I can't remember the name of the book right now, but the background of the book that gave us something called a gay agenda. The
Mm.
background to the book was there was a group of homosexual billionaires that had all that money, but they were ashamed to express their homosexuality in the public.
Mm.
So they had a lot of World War II and Korea War generals that was retired with nothing to do. So they paid them a ridiculous amount of money to write them a strategy to make homosexuality more acceptable and palatable to the general public. And that's where the origin of the gay agenda. They did that in the 60s. The book came out in 87, I think, was the final result of their report.
And I'm assuming too, and I'm not sure where these paths intertwine or come across each other, but I'm sure it does cross each other. Does that tie into the agenda of population control?
Not really. They want a rogue population growth. They give them easier access to children with coming from broken homes.
Mm.
Right? They give them easier access to damaged women that have been damaged by down low brothers pretending they straight, ruining the girl life.
Mm.
It's just military. They don't look at it like we look at it, like, oh my God, he's turning people gay. They look at it as a military pursuit.
Yeah.
Weaken the enemy and then attack.
Mm. Yeah.
Then in the Sumerian text, it tell you once the boy been anally penetrated, he's not fit to be the king.
Mm.
And that's why they always trying to penetrate the boys. They're trying to make sure that none of the boys rise up to the masculinity required in order to be a ruler and reclaim what's rightfully theirs.
Wow.
It's part of the rape culture.
That's crazy. And so now I'm pretty sure you heard of this as well, because that, I guess, would have to do with why there's so much I can't remember the one. There's a lot of different ingredients that they put into food, but I know there's like one or two in particular that I know are heavily prone to, like, I guess, creating feminine or effeminizing masculine,
Yeah,
male.
like soybeans. All that stuff they make with soybeans supposed to be made with chickpeas.
That's what it was. That's what I was saying. Soybeans.
Yeah.
That
Soybean spikes estrogen.
mm,
You gotta remember the vegans in the 80s and 90s was heavy on tofu,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
if you look at the vegan back then, the vegan community was a sizable portion of them men like men.
Mm, mm,
They was the most likely to be vegan in the 80s and 90s. Other people started becoming vegan through religious pursuit, but the original vegan community that became a cult,
mm.
veganism became a cult. The vegans started ruthlessly attacking meat eaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
As if they didn't start out as meat eaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they started developing a cult mentality. And within that cult, part of the paranoid energy behind it was homosexual males.
Mm.
And this ain't like, I don't care what your sexuality is personally, because I'm not sleeping with no dude, so I don't care what you do.
That's my stance too. You do what you do.
You
As long
know,
as you show
but
you say it don't matter.
yeah, but you cut with the truth though.
Yeah.
Everybody want the truth until you speak the truth. Then the truth become the villain. The truth speaker become the villain. Becomes the I don't believe he said that. He said it because it's true.
Yeah, the bad guy. Yeah. Like Scarface said, the bad.
But when he was telling the truth about the divine feminine, he wasn't the bad guy. But when he started talking about the conversion of males, because it's a conversion process.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's a book called Manipulated Mind by a editor of Psychology Today magazine, Denise Wynn. Or is it Dennis Wynn? I don't know. But it's D Wynn. It's Dennis or Denise. But the book tell you about sudden conversion, using trauma to convert people. It's a whole book about how you manipulate the minds of people. And I picked that book up when I was doing some research into deprogramming cult victims.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the books I came across that talked about not deprogramming them, but how the programming works. You got two sides. Once you program, you got to know how to deprogram. But before you can learn how to deprogram, you got to learn how to program. You can't jump on the computer and run the program and you've never seen the program before. You got to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. But that was one of the books I had read on it. That was some good information.
Yeah, because that sounds similar to eugenics. Is that like a similar I would say different?
No, psychological conversion or sudden conversion of a mindset. That's psychology. It's not eugenics is genetics.
I got you, bro. So it'll be
eugenics fall under genetics, and it's about producing the best DNA. Right, or eliminating the worst DNA. Eugenics is what was written by Enki as the remedy for the defective people that Enlil and his son Ninursin created in Babylon.
You know, one of the things I meant to ask you before we got off with the conversion thing. Excuse me. Are you I'm pretty sure you are, but are you familiar with like all the different elements and different ingredients that they're putting into like the baby formulas as well to kind of feminize the masculine sex too?
Yeah, they've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. We know they're doing that. Right. Look, they got stuff in the water that's making frogs have multiple genders. The amphibian is more sensitive than the human genetically. So they're gonna experience it before we do.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So
it's the same with the girls getting this bovine female hormone injected mammary gland producing, got 8-year-olds looking with a body of a 25-year-old. That stuff not normal. You gave that girl way too much milk when she was little.
Yeah. But aren't they putting that in other, like in the meats and the foods and all other foods too? Aren't they piling all them antibiotics and these all?
Yeah, but it's real. The girls can absorb it faster through the milk.
I got you.
It's because it's a feminine hormone that's designed to make the milk cattle produce more milk.
Mm.
Right, so it work on the female chemistry. So when they put it in the milk, it's going to affect the boys too. It's going to give them steroid-like symptoms like bitch tit, excessive subcutaneous fat around the waistline. Right, it's going to do that to the men, but the women, the girls, they're going to start growing breasts. The muscles, the muscle tone of the boys becomes softened. Boys ain't born muscular like they was when I was little. I remember them little babies used to be looking like baby Hercules laying there.
Yeah, I've seen some before and held some too. Yeah.
Now they look like baby Peter Pan's laying there. Now they look like baby Peter Pan laying there.
Oh man. Look, I don't know why, but when you said that, all I could think of was crazy ass Will Ferrell in that one. I don't know what movie it was. When he played, was it The Elf? Oh man. But yeah, Peter Pan do got like
the one that get me for Stewart from Saturday Night Live. The big ass baby, grown man baby.
Yeah, he's a fool. He is a plum fool. But nah, that's funny because yeah, they did. Peter Pan is one of the first characters I can think of that you could tell he was a little, on the other side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was, as far as I can recollect and remember, that's like the first one I can consciously recall that I remember seeing like
So
something.
Peter Pan supposed to be an asexual production. He's not supposed to have a gender. That's why they had a girl playing him.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
So what is the symbolism or symbolically Peter Pan is supposed to represent anyway?
Peter Pan is the what's called the forever child, which is your inner child.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And because he's so in tune with his inner child, he can't age. So now he's going through a massive arrested development. But in the process, he discovered that his imagination, being the forever child, is so strong that he can perform magical acts like fly. Right. Then he started going to rescue distressed children that's being victimized by grown people. Right. This was the Hyoka that was called to fight against the pirates of the Caribbean. Your Captain Hook, Captain Black, Johnny Depp. Right. They sensationalized the villain as the hero. But if he a pirate, he was the villain.
Yeah.
But they sensationalized him as the hero. Who wrote that story? The victor wrote the story.
Yeah. That's yeah. Sounds about right. So damn, there's another question I was gonna ask in regards to that story with Peter Pan. So now are there connections between the elves and dwarves and all that to that Peter Pan? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to be a small little like character too, right?
Yes, Peter Pan was a forever child.
Gotcha.
He was somewhere between a human child and a fairy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. Now, Captain Hook was the one hunting them. You got to go back to Ireland and study the snakes that was killed in Ireland by St. Patrick. Those were your gnomes and your elves, the Twa people that inhabited Ireland for thousands of years, but they wanted to get rid of them, so they was ethnically cleansing Ireland. The gingers of Ireland and Scotland is the half-breed children of the pale faces that came in the Twa people that was already there.
i.e. the lucky leprechaun. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, because he the only one knew where the gold was hid on the island.
Yeah, yeah. Now
And
those twat.
that's what the church was looking for at the time. You gotta remember, when they came over here, they was looking for gold. Or we would have
Mm,
never had a California gold rush.
mm, mm. The twat people
Remember the
that
city of Cordoba? The city of Cordoba was supposed to have been the city of gold. That's what they was hunting for. Cortez and his army, they was looking for the city of gold, right? That's because before the Anunnaki, after the last Anunnaki pyramid war that caused the Ice Age, all
Mhm.
of them pyramids in Mesoamerica was covered in gold. They wasn't stone. They was covered with gold and inlaid with silver, copper, platinum, and other trace metals.
Wow,
The
that's
ones
deep.
in Kemet over in the what we call the Middle East, Egypt, the Middle East now. I don't know where the Middle West is, or the Middle North, or the Middle South, but over in Egypt over there, those were covered with marble.
Yeah, I got pictures of that. They were like almost like a brilliant white, or you know what I'm saying. I don't know what shade it was, but it was light bright shade, right?
One of them was black, two of them was white. Well, one of them was white, and one of them was like a off white.
Mm, mm.
They did something. The colors meant something, and they done something in the atmosphere. The marble was stolen off of the
Stone
pyramids
Mountain.
to build Islamic temples, mosques. That's where all of the material for building mosques was coming from during the time of not right following Muhammad, the first, second, third, fourth Caliph. When they started building those palace-like mosques, they was taking the marble from the pyramids in Kemet.
Mm. Low down, dirty
This
bastards.
recorded history. They know this ain't no secret.
Yeah, nah,
But the
yeah,
problem is that the average person have no clue.
right. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to the tribe. I got a good question here. I'm gonna bring this to the floor for you, Big Chief. Shout out to Queen Tribal Protection. She said, yeah, would the floods, I guess the ones that's happening now, like in Texas, Chicago, I forgot where else, but would the
Those
floods be
Sweetwater floods. The blue candle, you gotta think, oh yeah, give me purple and blue.
right?
You think Oshun, you think yellow and white candles,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
right? And sometimes black when she in her raven form, because somebody been pissed off Oshun.
Yeah, Raven and what's the other one? The big one too. The vulture. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the vulture is tied to Oshun. One of the female, I
Oh,
think it's
yeah,
Oshun. It's one of the female deities for
yeah,
sure. Her other
yeah,
side,
yeah.
but with
Her
the
dark side.
yeah, yeah, because like the twins, man, or the polarities. You got one as above, so below, as within, so without. You got both. So high priestess
Look,
got another question.
the original temple of Isis is in the Grand Canyon in
Mm.
Arizona. The original temple of Osiris is in the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The original temple of Tahuti, we had like a whole lot of them on this land.
Because Arizona, now while you look that up too, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I.
You
Okay.
know, the
Let me.
base of the Isis temple, that's the sacerdotal seat of the earth. It's been moved, it been moved around the earth based on which one of the daughters of Isis is sent to become the Isis of the era.
Hmm.
So if her homeland was in Europe, then she built her sacerdotal seat in the Parthenon of Isis.
Hmm.
Today, you call the Parthenon of Isis Paris,
Bruh.
right?
One more time for the people in the
Yeah.
back. That
Today,
oh
today you call the Parthenon of Isis Paris. They also call it Par Isis, which is short for Parthenon of Isis, but it means the city of Isis or the Isis city complex. 1011, 1110, born again.
that part. That's deep. Look, them numbers go heavy. So heavy. I'm gonna have to have that conversation with you off air, and then depending on how we what we decipher, I might bring it to the air. But that them numbers go real. They go deep, buddy. They go real deep, real deep. I'm pulling up the
Right. So the sacerdotal seat under Greece was given to one of the pharaoh's daughters. I'll tell you her name. I happen to have that in my The pictures say the Egyptian princes who significantly impact Greece was Arsinoe II. A little bit farther down on that same picture, they got a sidebar, and one of them say inside the Temple of Isis.
What I'm gonna go off screen, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to edit it. I'm gonna screenshot it and edit it, and I'll pop back on with what you want to share real quick. I'll be right back with that too. You said which part was it that you wanted to put on the
The
sidebar?
part where, you see where it say inside the Temple of Isis
Mm-hmm.
in the Grand Canyon. That's because it showed them that there's still artifacts in there.
Okay, I'm gonna edit this real quick. Matter of fact, I might be able to stay on screen. Yeah, that's deep. Because like I said, I never really was able to find a whole lot of information when I did any research on all those artifacts and all that stuff that was found in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the Smithsonian seized a sizable portion of them. The Smithsonian worked for the Dirty Moors.
Raggedy rat bastards.
They was part of the Masonic secret society that was supposed to keep us from finding out who we are. That's why they kept hiding everything from the giants. My mama, the queen of the Bigfoot clan.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mississippi is Bigfoot territory.
Would not be surprised.
My uncle, the one told me. My uncle, one of my daddy friends, one of my father's friends called my mama Bigfoot, and my uncle always talk about he going down to Bigfoot country. And then one time I asked him, I said, "What's Bigfoot country?" He said, "Your mama home."
Oh.
My mama hated the country because of her childhood.
That's crazy,
right? But she still had to raise one of us to figure out how to reclaim everything without going through their system.
You know what? And I'm glad that you said that, because I'm about to pull up this. I'm about to pull up the part of the picture that you wanted to share. But then I got a question that I wanted to ask you that I'm shocked that it never came to my Maria, to my spirit to ask, but I'm a damn sure ask today because it came. It's funny. I meant to ask several times before, even if it was an off-air conversation, but it didn't. I guess it wasn't meant to be until tonight, but it's definitely going to be.
Exactly what to do to get the receipt on the screen.
Oh, I know. I've seen you do it on other shows.
but people be swearing up and down on making this stuff up.
Yeah, but see, it ain't meant for them, and that's why I talk about, like, this is for the people.
No, sometimes it's just so overwhelming to hear it for the first time that it just sound. This is the cognitive dissonance talking. It sounds totally insane.
Yeah.
And then you got another factor. The other factor is smart people sound crazy to dumb people.
Yeah, that's facts.
And then you got another factor. Dumb people that know they dumb. Dumb people don't know they dumb.
Nope.
Right? So if you know how to dumb them down, they won't never know they being dummies. Idiots.
Yeah, and that's real too. And then they want to go like pretty much want to sacrifice you because you do know a little something. You know what I'm saying? Or you do have access to some information. And then don't you damn sure better not have no real receipts either. You better don't do that. I don't think you should never do that again.
Yeah, I be telling people all the time, every day, I don't care if you disagree with me. We ain't all supposed to agree on everything anyway. And anybody that ever tell you that you supposed to believe everything come out their mouth, they the problem, not the solution. I came to solve problems, not to create new ones.
That's facts. Big facts.
I put a post up last year, and it said, "I came to help people that solve people's problems, solve the people's problems, coming to find out that the people that was to solve people's problem is the problem now. Because they found out they can make money not solving the problem."
Man, I just had that conversation a couple of days ago about people who do that. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people like in social media influencer circles that are so-called influencers who are, I guess, financial literacy, or, you know what I'm saying, like learning how to do a lot of different business things, but they really ain't doing what they say that they doing, or what they charge people making money off of doing. Like, they don't really have receipts. They just know how to talk a good talk, but they ain't really got no receipts showing that they've actually done, you know, the things that they've pretty much stealing money from with people. You know what I mean? So that's a real thing, man. But then when those that come that do know it, or, you know what I'm saying, like, then it's an issue, right? That's the problem. That's the bad guy.
Look, when scientists be hearing me talk, they get giddy. How did you make that so simple? Like little kids can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I was having dinner. My mom was in Henry Ford Hospital, and I was up there with her because she was having issues before her liver transplant, right? So I'm sitting at the table by myself. Hear these three young doctors come and they working on a case with a patient. And I'm sitting there listening to them. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just listening to them, right? And when they was going through the prognosis, one of them turned around and asked me what I think.
Hmm.
So now I'm having a full-fledged diagnostic conversation with three doctors. And when they got ready to get up and leave, and they was like, they told me what college they graduated for, where they went to med school, and then they was like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "I didn't." The same thing happened to me in 1200. I was in the courthouse with my ex, right? And we went down to get breakfast before court start in the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
And the lawyer was sitting there going over the case, and he was like, "Man, I know I could beat this case, man, but I just can't see it." So now I was like, "Well, without telling me your client name, can you tell me about the case?" We're going through the case. And back then, I was fresh out the joint, so I was fresh out the law library. I'm quoting cases off the top of my head. I can't do it now because I haven't used it in damn near 20 years, right? So I say, look this case up, this case up. And he was pulling them up on his laptop. And he was cross-referencing what I was saying and what the case was. He's like, "Man, you're a fucking genius, man." He was like, "Where'd you go to law school?" I was like, "I never seen a law school in my life."
Man, listen. Man, look, hey, shout out to one of my other partners, man. Matter of fact, I might have told you about him either yesterday or today when we spoke, but me and him was chopping it up. Yeah, it was last night, I think. We were talking last night. Me and him was chopping it up. He was like, man, he was like, bruh. He like, boy, that goddamn right head, man. He like, bruh really is a whole encyclopedia. He like, I seen one of your listeners or guests or somebody say something about it. I was like, bruh. I said, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Ain't too many people, and I've been blessed. You know, I'm gonna give homage, man. I've been blessed to talk to some very, very powerful, prolific minds. You know, and chop it up and, you know, interview. And I'm like, man, bro, I'm trying to think. I can't think of too many people that I can ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot of damn questions. I don't think all of them are easy either, but I just know that the person I'm asking, I feel confident that they have the ability to answer. I like, but that dude. I mean, I don't know. It might have been one time. This just happened recently where there was one thing that you didn't go all the way in on. I was like, what? But before that, I had already made that comment before that. And I was like, hey, the only one I ever asked a question that had something for every damn thing. Every pitch I throw, he hitting that motherfucker. I'm like, God, I'm trying to throw screwballs, curveballs, sliders, change up. But still rocking the ball. I'm like, God damn.
Look, I was a team leader at GM, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every day I'm answering questions for the team about the cars we build in the part we working on. That's regular. But then we have like regular conversations too. One day one of my team members called me up and said, "Well, come here, man." He asked me something about some nutrition, and I started going into different vitamins and stuff. Then he turned around and he was like, "Man, where are you from, man? You know too much stuff about too much stuff to not be somebody important." Yeah, man, that was one of them days right there.
Look, the tribe, they agree, they in agreement. Because look, when I was saying that, I was pulling up some work from Doc that I'm gonna bring on the screen in a minute. But I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking at the comments because I was pulling up the some research. But they were saying, shout out to High Priestess She was like, they were like, "Oh, this totally resonated. No flood my soul." Yeah, that's how we get down. High Priestess One. That's what we do, man. And I appreciate you, for showing up and showing love too. But yeah, you see. Oh man! But check this out. So we've talked about cloning and stuff like that before on here, and you shared some things that some people probably they might be like, man, you don't know what the hell they talking about, da da da, this and that, da da da. But I'm like, I ain't finna question the dude because I know, like, as far as what I know, the things that I know, he be going ham on a lot of that stuff, and he's spot on with a lot of the stuff that I know that I have receipts for, and that I know that I know. So I know we have mentioned before, you and I, about well, actually, you brought it to the floor about Barack being a clone, and I think
Akhenat's clone.
right. So I think some people might believe it. Some people might be like, it's bullshit. I don't know. Really don't care. But I'm going to share some receipts real quick because I got them right here. In regards
We all
to
know about the signals, huh?
look, look, I got it queued up, ready to go. Look, I just got to get it up in the doggone platform because the one I'm about to share is deep because it's all about the cloning. Well, I mean, it got a lot in it, more than the clones. Many people that look just like people from here, it blew my mind. One of them looked so much like my homeboy. I had to take a picture of the dude. We was in traffic. He was in another car. I had to take a picture of the dude to send it to my homeboy here. And normally we be chewing each other. We talk numbers. We talk cash at each other all day, every day. A
So
true,
the difference is this: a clone is an artificial twin
right?
made in the laboratory,
That's too, baby. Right.
right? A phenotype is the same tribe normally.
Mm.
People when it's from a similar tribe, from neighboring tribes, they have similar features,
Right.
right? So when you start spreading people around the world, the tribe is broke up. So you start seeing people from around the world that look like each other because they're not in their tribal community no more. But
That's deep.
remember, cloning used to be called twigging first.
Twigging or twinning?
Yeah,
Twigging.
twigging. Yeah, it means twinning, but it's called twigging. The term was borrowed from botany. Botany is growing plants and stuff,
Yeah.
right? And twigging was how they would patch one limb to a tree that's a different tree and make it grow with that tree as if it was part of it.
I'm about to slam my hat on the floor because that's funny. I was going to ask when we was talking about something earlier. Oh, when we were talking about the genders, and I think I just learned this like within the last 6 months, bro. And it might have been on one of these podcasts. I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody was talking about. I think it was one of the elders. I can't remember. But anyway, they were talking about trees and how trees had sex. Like you have male and female trees. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I was blown. But I think it was Baba Tolu, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to the Balagoon. But I remember him like breaking that down, and I remember we spoke about it, and then ever since then, I would always look at trees because he was able to show me in his yard the difference
How to
between
tell
a
the
male
female
tree.
from the male?
Yeah, bro. When I saw it, I'm like, yo, this crazy, bro. Because I never knew trees had male, female genders. I mean, I know all of nature does, bro, but I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But now that I
I'm
know,
gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you something else that's gonna blow your mind about trees. If
mm,
you cut the big mama tree down, you upset the whole forest.
that part I knew.
When you cut the old lady tree down, the old lady tree, when you cut that down,
Mm-hmm.
it makes so many trees unrelated. They're not even the same species of tree.
Mm-hmm.
But when you cut her down, you also kill a sizable portion of the forest with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, because shout out to Wuna, man. She's very powerful too. She's a daughter of the IJE. I mean, but I remember we had matter of fact, it was on our private community call, and it was funny because she was about to kick my ass too because I had cut down a tree in my backyard, and she was like, "Did you ask that tree permission to cut it down?" I was like,
Oh,
"Nah." I said, "What?"
she calling you on the culture, baby.
Bruh, it's a couple people on this call right now that was on that call too. But the good, what saved me is like, look, I apologize. but I didn't know. You know what I mean? So when that happened, I wasn't where I am in my spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? So I had no idea. She was like, okay, all right, well, yeah, they're gonna give you a pass because you didn't know. But boy, but I was like, now I know, because even like for us in the Yoruba or Ifa Sheshe tradition, whenever we're working with the plants, we're working with like Osion, right? That's the deity over the plants. We have to get permission. Like there's certain things that we have to do to make sure that we appease him before we even deal with anything that has to do with the plants, because just like all the other elements, we have to appease whatever deity, whatever energy that we're working with. There's certain access codes that have to be granted for us to get to it. So now I know, but back then I didn't know. But boy, she was ready to give me the business, man. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. But man, I say all that to say,
if you ever be on the Bison farm, they got this. When it's time for a male bison to force his life to an end,
mm-hmm.
he stand on the hill, right? And he just be staring into nothing for a while, and then he goes into a full blown rage. You gotta kill him. He'll kill all other bison, elk, moose. He don't care. Anything come around him when he in that mind frame. That's how they used to sacrifice themselves for the tribes. The spirit of the bison is the Tatanka spirit.
Mm.
Tatanka means the spirit of the bison. And the chiefs that was from the Bison clans, or the Buffalo clans as they called them, later they called them Buffalo Soldiers, they were of the Tatanka war spirit. They used to cloak themselves in the bison fields with bison pelts. And this is what gave rise to bison trades and hunting expeditions to slaughter the bison. The government was paying people to kill off all of the bison. And then when you do the research as to why would the government say kill off all of the bison, you find that they said the reason they killing off the bison because they was us. For every bison they kill one of us. Because in their mind, they believe that they didn't believe we was camouflaged with bison skin. They thought we literally turned from bisons into humans and slaughtered them.
Bruh, I'm gonna show some tremendous respect to to David, man, because shout out to Richard Stone again, because I'm telling you can't make this shit up. On the live stream me and him did, I don't even know how we got into it, but somehow the subject of, like, I think it started with the number 9. It had something to do, whatever it was, it triggered something in me to start talking about Oya. And I went into talking about her because of the 9, her being the representative of the ending and the beginning and the transformation, the death and the birth, the rebirth, the elements of the storm, how they stole. I just went all into a whole rant and tizzy about it. But what's even more crazy, bro, is that I was in a meeting Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever, with some brothers, and we spoke about everything you just said, and they went into the bison and the buffalo story. But those who know the tradition also know that Oya is one of her animal symbol totems is the buffalo, like the bison, like the buffalo. So that you said that, and I know for a fact that I just had that conversation earlier tonight, and then 2 days ago. They really did sacrifice them for the sake of trying to not only eliminate the people, but the spiritual powers too, because they knew that the natives were familiar and connected spiritually to these animals. So they slaughtered them just like Hitler in the Nazi campaign. And they stood up on mountains, like mountains of like bison and buffalo.
Bison skull.
Yeah, skull. Like I'm like, bruh. Oh boy, they don't know what they got coming up with. Ooh, because you fucking with the wrong one. It ain't none of them to mess with, but that's the last and the wrong one you want to play with when you're doing stuff like that. And wasn't it used to be a wrestler named Tatanka?
Yep. Look, he got a WWE promo he cut. I can't find it nowhere. But his face paint was black and white, war paint. And he was going into this rant about how the tribes was done over here. And they let him talk for about 15 minutes. Man, he went in. This was back in like...
Had to be the 80s or 90s.
No, it was the 90s. It was like 98, 99.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, man. I almost caught the Holy Ghost in there listening to that. I was about to be flopping around like a fish on the floor.
Bruh.
Abashiba Bakanda.
That's the wrong day, especially for like real, real. You don't mess with her because it's stated that she turns into a bison or a bill. Like she, you know what I'm saying? Like she has the ability to do so. But that's powerful.
The same story is told in a different tribe as the white buffalo woman. I actually
Yeah,
know the reincarnated white buffalo woman. She actually
yeah.
one of my Facebook friends.
Wow. It's one of my shout out to one of the Babas that was at the that I was in a meeting with, man.
Look,
He
when
shared.
she first contacted me, right, I'm like, every time she contacted me, right before she contacted me, I get some kind of communication with a white buffalo, whether it be a reel or something, and then her message will pop up. It'll either be a comment on a post or it'll be an inbox, right? And I went out like, "Who is you? Is you the white buffalo lady?" And she was like, "What did you talking about?" So then we started chatting about it, and when she started telling me about her history and her tribal affiliation and how her mom and them was grooming her, and I was like, "Holy, she the white buffalo lady."
Mm. Yeah, you got some connections too, boy. I know some before you said you be getting
I
in
keep
with it.
telling people we back. The ancient
Yeah,
ones that returned in modern bodies in modern times.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Empress Brady
Yes, sir. Returning
and
the ancients.
ancestors on the other side doing their thing.
Yes, sir. Look, so I gotta I would say high priestess, if it's me, really I think either one of us, but for me, you can send it Instagram. High priestess said, how can they send a picture of a beautiful bison skull? And if you're trying to send it now, I could send you an email address too, and I could put in the comments that I could probably access real quick. But the question earlier, Big Chief, that I'm shocked that I didn't ask it before. I said I meant to, but it just didn't happen. But it's on my spirit tonight. I'm glad that it came back. But the story of you becoming Chief Pontiac. Can you kind of
Mm-hmm.
share, the backstory behind it? Because all this time I've been calling you Big Chief from the day I met you, but and I know Chief Pontiac and all that, but I never asked the story. So that's kind of like I'm blown away by myself. Like, how you ain't never asked that question? So I'm curious.
I had went over this on several different platforms, right?
Okay,
And then somebody took all of the clips and put them together, and they titled it "Rod Hayes: How I Became Chief Pontiac," and it got all of the little pieces of the story put together in one reel.
I say, yeah, I'll pull it up.
Matter
I'll
of
pull it up.
fact, I'm gonna send it to you so you can post it in the comments
Okay,
because I really don't want to go over it again.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'll do that. High Priestess said her son is a great. Yeah, I'm gonna share it real quick. High Priestess, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And then let me see. All right, I'm pulling that up right now. High Priestess, I'll get it to you in a minute. Put it in the comments, and then let me see. And then also,